Good evening. So I just decided that I was going to do another reading because I kind of wanted to stay on subject from the readings over the past few days, but I also wanted to get more details. So specifically, there was a reading that I did the other evening that got real specific about contact with the other side. Definitely some pretty strong references to like cadavers, which is an awkward subject for a lot of people, but not so much me. I have scorpionic energy all over the place. So that being the case, I'm gonna switch decks around a little bit. I'm gonna do the voodoo deck, the all-seeing eye of Ra, and then I'll switch the oracle deck for we'll do angelic messenger cards. Okay. So, oh yeah, I forgot. This was on my counter. I found it so long ago and I cut it out to keep it. I just thought it was interesting. It says most roses are not red, ? And then it says until the 19th century, roses were either white or pink. In 1832, a sweetly scented China rose was crossed with a deep red hybrid flower to give us the first red rose. Yeah, I can't fit all that into the, just turn your phone sideways, take a screenshot. Anyway, that's kind of interesting and was relevant to wanting to go back and get the details about cadavers because I don't know why, I just always think about like bouquets of roses or bouquets of flowers as being something associated with funeral homes. I guess you could say chapels, either, or if, whatever. Or if, ands, or buts, I don't know. All I'm trying to say is that the assumption that I make in my brain, just associating flowers with funeral homes, is kind of the same way that most people assume that roses have always been red. I don't even know if that's true or not, by the way. It just came out of this book. Yeah, here's abundance. So part of this color definition of roses and the reason I wanted to revisit this idea of cadavers is because if you've ever heard that song by Bette Midler, they talk about the rose being this like tiny little seedling of hope. It's like the mustard seed, and it blooms out of like things that are really hard or very like between a rock and a hard place. That's where a rose is gonna pop up. This is not a rose, but I do find it interesting that it's the color. It's the pink red color that they're talking about, and the most roses are not red. This is desire. So this is the abundance for desire, or an abundance of desire. And oh my gosh, there's so many thoughts going through my head right now. I can't even really sift out which ones I want to talk about. I did in the other reading the other night also pull weird energy surrounding the interpretation of things, which I think is what this has to do with. In this specific case, they're talking about circumstances by which a rose gains its color, like which colors were sparked when, right? Here's willpower, number 5 in the upright. The thing about this abundance of desire is that everybody has preferences, okay? But then also everybody has a wide range of experiences that other people don't know about. It's just that it's the first date, okay? That's what it is. It's the first date, kind of abundance of desire. You really want things to work out. You're not sure if you guys see eye to eye. I'm just looking at the colors here. There could be an exchange of flowers, like bringing you a rose or some type of a card, perhaps, that would express the way that they feel. The point that I'm trying to make has way more to do with this birth and this death and rebirth energy. There's also a desire for that in this world. People don't want to age. People don't really want to have to change unless they are forced to under some circumstance that either is or is not under their control. This idea of having a hybrid society where there's a modern family and a very, I guess, polarized institutional infrastructure, mentally, physically, and then to think about the way that applies on a larger scale. That's basically what I'm talking about. On a first date, all this hopefulness, all of this death and rebirth of like the death of your old relationship, the beginning of a new relationship. For me personally, I need a little bit of time. I need some time and space to space and time myself out. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't. This is the desire not to have to go backwards. And I'm just seeing the China rose was crossed with a deep red. So yeah, here's tenderness just fell out right on top of all of these. So there's abundance and a desire for tenderness. And then there's synchronicity in reverse. So you can kind of see the like juxtaposing energies as they emerge. But this also has a lot to do with being able to take things up or down a notch, to add more color to a black and white photo, or to stop while you're ahead. It's part of knowing, yeah, it's a blessing. It's part of the blessing of an artist, is to know when to stop and when to keep going. Sometimes you keep going anyway. Sometimes you stop anyway. That's part of the process of artistic creation also. But the blessing of Genesis, regenesis, and kind of this synergy between the two is that I was talking also. I don't know why I need to go back and like just put some specific exclamation marks all over my old readings, but I was talking about how magnets are attracted when they're opposite, a negative and a positive charge. You know, sometimes that's the case for human beings, but then other times opposites repel each other, and sometimes if you're too similar, you also repel each other. Love, I think, is the one kind of element, I guess you could say, or active force of nature that is completely undefinable unless you're able to tap into synchronizing yourself with this flexibility of mentality, emotion, and also just your physical state as well as your spiritual state. You just knowing how to roll with the punches through everything. Yeah. So this is number 7. At the base of the reading. So this is synchronization. When you're not synchronizing with kind of admiring yourself or looking back at all the things that that's when you can move forward. So you see how she's looking back and she's like looking at this mirror instead of looking at this huge big mirror right behind her. There's a whole, she's cried herself a river and it's going this way. There's a little sailboat on it and everything. But she has a tiny little mirror there, like a tiny, teeny, tiny little mirror. And what she's seeing in the reflection of one of these two mirrors, I don't know which one she's actually looking into, is causing the sadness. And the point of that is to say, if she was, I don't know why I just heard this weird, but turn the brightness up on her phone, she would see herself in a brighter light, or in a like a different shade, which is somehow relevant to this. I guess if she's seeing things as like black and white and it's making her either sad or happy, if she can see things, she doesn't have to live in a state of like a gray space, you know, but just being able to think through the big picture as well as the little picture. It really helps when there's a little problem that's making you super sad, you know, and especially when you're not synchronizing with the energy of abundance, blessings, desires, or tenderness. All of these things are upright, by the way, except for synchronizing. So whoever is not taking a look at the ways in which even the smallest little things, there's a book called It's the Little Things, and it is about racial tension, but it's actually just a good book to read in general. It's about microaggressions and how they affect people, how they're perceived, what kind of microaggressions. And that book does have a lot to do with race, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but yeah, here's Madame La Lune. I don't tend to want to focus too much on that, but that's the abundance of this moon energy. It's very cathartic. It's very you can be really honest with the reflection in the water, is what I'm seeing here, and nothing comes to bite you. It's like you see how she's just in a white dress and she's on the bank of the river and she's just enjoying. She's got her feet, dipping her feet in, and she's just kind of like enjoying herself. That's more so the reflection is the internal reflection rather than the external. Oh, maybe this is internal reflection is really big. So she's having this little tiny reflection of herself on this really big grand scheme of things as it comes to her own personality or her own issues or whatever the case may be, that she's not seeing the whole bouquet. She is definitely not seeing the entire So if she's not seeing the entire situation, all I'm seeing here is that the moving water is actually what you need to be watching. I don't know what this reading is fishing for right now, but it feels like it's not. It's something, yeah. So Mambo came out. This is really interesting because this is kind of the water spirit energy. She's a wild woman, okay? Just like water can be extremely serene and peaceful, or it can be an absolute nightmare, okay? That's what this is. This is the serene water, and this is the one that has the harebrained kind of like, this is the crazy desire, right? So this is very much serene abundance. You have a crazy desire for that serene abundance, perhaps, or that serene abundance is something that, that serene kind of state of mind is something that you would desire to have if you were not so harebrained. For me personally, I feel like I'm more of the harebrained lady. Just that's just me personally. Yeah. So there's Yemaya. Yemaya is this is crazy that all three of these came out like that, because all of these are water spirits. So also Madame La Lune is number 9, and so is Yemaya. The Congo or the Mambo card doesn't have a number on it. So you have 99 right here. And I do just want you to see that Yemaya is giving birth to everything primordial. These are the primordial waters. So we're talking about rebirth, regenesis, rehashing, revamping, recreation of. That is what is happening right there. So this is also, I don't know why, but the stages of a lot of different, like the cycles of life are here. The stages of romance are here. The actual progression of like a seed. So this one's just barely unfurling itself, right? And that's abundance, because as soon as the seed opens or splits open, it is now showing its face to the world, right? That's the desire to feel the warmth of the sun. And this tenderness is being open to that. It's the ability to close at night, open in the morning, be on a circadian rhythm that is in tune with the cycles of the astrological movements. This is, Madame La Lune is the serenity, the grace, it's the patience, the peace of mind, afforded solitude. Like solitude gives people this. Like usually you're not going to get that. I mean, for some people are extreme extroverts. So maybe you'll get aha moments in public with like a huge group of people. This is more so a personal aha moment. So usually you're not introspective so much when you're in a huge group of people, like in a crowd of people. You know, that's more what this energy is. Doesn't really matter if you're extroverted, introverted, whatever. This is just a silent moment. It's a moment of silence for what is dying off, what's going to, I'm just seeing like when this vision of being at the Ganges River and seeing things floating down it and not wanting to touch the water, not wanting to disrupt anything in the environment because I wasn't sure of myself at that time. But that's what this is. This is watching, observing, feeling. I know I said that she's dipping her toes in the water, but I mean on a very like psychic, intuitive, ethereal level. So being willing to do that reflection that's necessary for those two kind of perspectives to merge, to combine at the, it's like the delta of rivers. They all converge and come together. It's like a divine convergence, right? Well, that's what this is the overwhelming feeling that as a human being we have. So, you know, your desire or your lust, right? Those are really primal urges. Primordial waters, primal urges, right? But that being the case, just because you have a primal urge doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go act it out. Number 9 is also right here at the end of the reading before any of this comes out. So the abundance of desire does not mean that you have to let go of your tenderness with yourself. It's being empathetic to the fact that some people are colorblind. Being empathetic to the fact that, you know, your belief about something could be completely different from the reality of the situation. Knowing that what you see passing in front of your eyes right now is not necessarily what you're going to see passing before your eyes in 5 minutes even. I would say about 99% of human beings don't have the capacity to really imagine what forever looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, what it tastes like. Like, those are not things that we're encouraged to imagine about. You're told you're being silly, be practical about your imagination. How dumb is that? Why would you want your imagination to be practical? That's so limiting, right? This is the harebrained idea. These are the dumb ideas. These are the, I don't know why I'm just seeing the cat in the bag. Cat's out of the bag. Like, you know, when people tell you, oh, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you telling me how you feel? Does cat's got your tongue? It's like, no, the cat doesn't have my tongue. These are ideas, so many of them going past that it's difficult to, in a clear, concise, and very empirical way, explain what the formula or the recipe for pure water is. What does primordial water have in it? Amoebas, algae, a whole bunch of bacterial growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things in primordial water that, unless we're going to talk about the healing properties of having, I don't know why, I'm just going to go back to this. I guess it's a pregnancy card, but this is like before, this is realizing, this is 101 Dalmatians, when Anita finds out that she's pregnant, and the dog, like, Perdita knows, and so she just has this knowing twinkle in her eye. That's that moment right there. This is the giving birth. This is the 9 months, 10 technically, but whatever. This is the whole shebang right here. This is all your primordial life prior to joining us here on this realm. You had a prerequisite to this lifetime, which was your primordial life inside of your mother's womb. And as soon as she gives birth, that's when the tenderness starts from a mother to her offspring, right? Well, that's the same progression here. When you think about Genesis, when you start something, you usually have a whole bunch of energy and like ideas, and you're really excited about it and blah, blah, blah. Then the newness wears off of it, and you're kind of like, look, I need this to come to a definitive end, or I'm going to lose my mind. This is for women. You know what I'm talking about if you've ever been pregnant and you're like, I don't know, 9 and 10 years pregnant is what it feels like. And you're kind of just, it's no offense to the baby and it's no offense to you, but you're just done being a moving house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just want to have the baby and like just enjoy having your body to yourself again, to some level, to some degree, because it's a different experience than the rest of your life. That's the only reason why it's difficult to be pregnant or hard. It's not. You're not acting crazy. You're hormonal. You're not acting out of sorts. You're probably scared out of your mind, like most parents, because, you know, children don't come with instruction manuals and whatnot. All I'm trying to say is that, like, no one teaches you how to do it after they come out either. So there's literally the before babies, during conception and birth, and then after birth. That is Genesis, Synergy, Regenesis. Worthwhile to mention that on the bottom of the Eye of Ra deck that was just sitting here, it is the building, the pyramid card. Let me see what's on the bottom of the... Yeah, okay. Maybe this really does have to do with like conception or something. So this is blessings, and then, you know, obviously some passion. Desire is here, but I'm just saying this could be quite literal, or this could be quite philosophical, depending on how you'd like to take it. Let me see what else. Yeah, quite literally, this could be literally that. Most roses are not red. So I'm just going to put that at the top of the read. We're going to do, yeah, all three of these together, because that does kind of depict all roses are not red. No, the synchronicity for all roses to be red was not there, allegedly. When you look at the pink as well as the red as well as the China rose, I think they said it was from what? I'm trying to remember, 1932? 1832, so close. Yeah, the crossbreed, the hybrid between those two is the new moon. So if we are talking about cycles, if we are talking about literal conception, rebirth, after, this is, okay, that's the part I was missing. This reminded me instantly as soon as it fell in my lap about the afterlife. Okay. That contact, that just brief contact that I got the other day from the other side was, I called it creepy. It wasn't creepy. It's a little bit mind-blowing when you have a real clear or direct line with anything that you're not able to see in front of you. It is discombobulating. It throws you, you stay flabbergasted for a period of time and then you recover, right? So that's what I had to do, is just kind of recover. But this has something to do with this. So people do have like a desire to be able to continue contact with their loved ones once they've passed on. That's a fact. But the ability to do so, the capability or the blessing within a bloodline or within this is number 6 and this is number 3. This is blessings within, I'm just seeing bloodline. Literally. This is the result. So this could also be like, just don't think about this so physically. I didn't want this to be like a physical read. It was more so supposed to be, this is about, like I said, recreating a connection with the other side without having all these stigmas or fears surrounding, oh, there's demons. No, they're not. If that's who you're trying to talk to, that's probably who you might get in touch with. Yeah. Don't call that line. That's just that. There's the pyramid card again. Don't build anything except for love. Do not build a thing except for love. Like, literally, if you have to lock yourself away, like you're Rapunzel in a castle, or Aurora with her pricked finger on the spindle, I don't really care what it is. Keep this is 999 energy coming out. We have the number 30, and then we've got abundance and mambo. In the base of the read, this is literally half of the read is 9s. The other half is random numbers. I just want you to know the 50-50 probability of you sitting here living your life, having been conceived out of the thousands of children that you could have been. That alone kind of speaks to miraculous undertakings, workings from above. I don't know. I'm just trying to say that there's a strong case once you begin investigating your own self and everything having to do with your reception, how open you may be to this new moon energy, to different perspectives, to different people, experiences, places, and things. That's when you begin picking up on consistent energies that will show you exactly what is going on. No, you can't necessarily take it absolutely for the physical God honest truth. That's not the way that this works. This is an energy reading. So this is picking up on the mental psychosis surrounding Genesis and regenesis, which is what life is. The entire definition of life. So, what else can we get for the ensured continuance of the human species? I don't think I could be much more clear. Love just came out again. So we've got love here at the bottom of this deck, and we've got love here. So I just want you to notice that when we're talking about manifesting, when we're talking about focused intention, mental thought, and the reason that these things are important to note. 999 came out. Then we have number 1. This card is not necessarily numbered at all, but this does look like the number 1. So if I have a key to my castle and someone else has a key to my castle, that's a bad example. Let me not say castle. I'm kind of over like the Disney references for tonight. If I've got a key to my heart and someone else has a key to my heart, those keys work together. That is lock and key. Nobody's scalping anybody for information, for anything except for an equal exchange of love. How that's defined? It's defined by these two people, not by anybody else. So when you build, the only thing you should be building is love from whatever side you are looking at things from. It really does not matter. 999 is, I'm gonna have to look up that angel number. I'm on my phone right now, so I cannot take a quick peek, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with elasticity of mind. Not so much in a bad way. This is neuroplasticity. This is understanding how to create pretty dependably and pretty repetitiously a skill set that includes energetic implantation. Okay? I feel like I need to break out the speaker and start bumping some serious Bob Marley.